Hi everyone, this is Steve Hurst, the partner with Dan Willinger and the webmaster for ventriloquistcentral.com. What we've put together here is kind of a little tribute to the master figure builder himself, Frank Marshall. Now what you'll be seeing are some pictures of Frank and also the figures that are in the Ventriloquist Central collection. What you'll be listening to is an audio interview I did a while back with Dan Willinger dealing with Frank Marshall. There's some great information here. We hope you enjoy this. So what we'd like you to do is sit back, enjoy these wonderful Frank Marshall pictures, and listen to Dan Willinger as he talks about Frank Marshall.
Why don't you tell everybody why Frank Marshall is your favorite maker?
Well, I guess the thing that got me for Frank Marshall, of course, was the fact that he produced the figures for the most famous ventriloquist. Of course, he created Paul Winchell's Jerry Mahoney, and he did Danny O'Day, and he created Farfel. So, of course, being 60 years old and growing up during the golden age of television, got to watch Jerry Mahoney and saw the Jimmy Nelson commercials for Nestle's Quick, and so I grew up seeing those characters. So when I finally started collecting ventriloquist figures, gosh, I wanted to find Frank Marshall figures because, he was the guy that produced them for all. Pretty amazing.
Why don't we go back now and let's just talk about, what we know about Frank's history as far as how he got his start.
Okay. Well, I can kind of tell you. Frank was a young lad in Chicago. He was stricken with polio. A neighbor of his was the great Lester. The great Lester brought him with him one day over to the Theodore Mack studios and said to them, this kid, maybe you could give him a job doing, something in the shop here. Before long, Frank was carving puppets for them, working on the puppets, and he apprenticed with the Macks. Finally was put in charge of doing the puppets. I think it was in 1922. Then Charlie Mack passed on, Theodore passed on, and Charlie was running the bar around the corner, and Frank and Alex Cameron together took over the shop, and Alex Cameron was doing the architectural carving, and Frank was doing the puppetry.